Hi everyone. A friend of mine had contacted me on YouTube and mentioned something about Astro lamp that I had talked about, I think many years ago, and he said, have I still got mine? Well, I've just been up to the loft. I find the safest place to keep a lot of things, and I found these two which I knew I had two of the very old ones. The first one, I believe, could be the very first that a company called Crestworth made. What's interesting to note is the size of the top, which is sealed down to the bottle. It's also the level does not go right up to the top. And at the moment it's been on for a little while and the bubbles have got smaller and smaller, but this is probably due to the fact that it is very old. We have a closer look at it. I can take this off. It's just come off. What you have to be careful is the base, because they do get very hot, and having stored this in the loft, which was pretty cold last night, in fact I think we almost had our first frost, it was chilly up there. Anyhow, the way to tell it's an early one is to look at how it's been put together. I'll turn the light off. We'll let the bulb cool down. Now, it's interesting to note is that part which holds the lamp. It's a small bayonet lamp. The cap's SBC, small bayonet cap. There is on this one the earth wire. I would think that it probably terminates inside. You see the wire goes straight in. I have seen one also on YouTube which is a very early one as well. It's actually a toss-up whether my one's earlier or the other one's earlier. I wouldn't mind any comments on this. So I picked this up, say many years ago, a few years ago, from my favourite boot sale at Wimbledon. I think I gave about a couple of pounds for it, which is silly money. I know these are worth quite a bit now. What I also noticed, the inside is painted white. The other one I saw, it wasn't painted white. I'm going to try and get the bulb out. There we are. I've got the bulb out. As I say, it's a small bayonet cap. The wattage of these I think is about, have to excuse me, I can't see too well at the moment. This is partly why I'm doing this as a video rather than putting pen to paper or typewriter to paper or keyboard to paper, whatever you like to say. I find it easier. I can't see too well. Anyway, there's the base. As you see, it's in two parts, which would be the same as the other one. It's copper through and through. The wire's white insulated. This, as you can see, it's got a little ridge around it which fits in and makes it quite firm. Also, the switch looks like it's the same switch as on the other one that's shown on a YouTube. This in fact was made by, I think the name shows up, it's upside down, Arco Electrics, which was a company round about the 1960s. I do remember the 60s well, and this is possibly the age of this lamp. Also, there is an earth connector as well. You've got red, black and green. So that it is, as far as I know, earth connected, but it looks like it's connected internally. Looking through the top, there's the actual holder, a nice brass one, and white painted in the middle. The bulb, I can have a look at it now as it's a bit cooler. I don't know if there's anything written on there, I can't see it. I would think it's probably 25 watts, but make sure you got the right lamp for the thing. If you have it too hot, you could cause the glass to break, and that would be terrible because these are, I think, quite rare. Right, let's go back to the container. Oh, there's the glass container. The base, whether you can actually see this, there is a very difficult to see, but there is like a piece of wire work in there. You can just see it there. It's like a spring, but it's made into a, well, it is a spring but joined at both ends, and that is obviously there to help it work. As far as I can see, there's nothing else on it. So we'll pop that one back, pop the bulb in. What I did notice and did mention, the top is quite wide. It's wider than any of the other ones I've seen, and I think this could be the first one. If it's not the first, it's definitely one of the first. And a friend of mine had one of these many years ago, which unfortunately he put a switch in the side which would have reduced the actual value of it. I don't know why he done that, because these come with a switch in line, as you can see. But his one, as far as I can remember, looked the same, and I'm pretty sure it was the same. But as regards whether it was a wide top or not, I just can't remember that. It was going back a few years. He was a gentleman that, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He had a very large lamp collection, and in fact he had so many Christmas lights that when he turned them all on, the room that they were in, and it was like a double front room, heated up. You couldn't in fact see the ceiling for the amount of lights he had. They're probably worth a lot of money. But anyhow, as I say, he's no longer with us, a great pity. Turn that one on again. As you can see, it's, because I've turned it upside down, it's all over the place. So we'll let it cool down by turning it off and have a look at the other one. Now the other one I think is similar age. I'm taking that out because for some unknown reason age has come in and this doesn't seem to want to work. It's got quite hot and I'm scared it's going to crack, so what I'm going to do is leave it in a living room somewhere where it's warm and hope that it may be persuaded to start working. There's the, see, that has the top that just slips on and a bottle. In fact, to look at it, it looks very similar to a bottle. Now, years ago there was a drinks made by a company called Treetops, and I'm blooming sure this looks the same bottle or the same type that they used. Once again, I'm having a peep and to see if there's anything on the bottom. Now that's the only thing that's on the bottom. We've got a number 4 and a little triangle. So once again, I can only assume that this is the correct one, and they put the top. Everything seems to fit beautifully. So we'll see what happens if we can make it work again. Having a look at the base unit, slightly different. It's a one-piece job. This one has got a base to it, which the other one didn't have. And on the base, it's got the name Crestworth Limited, Poole, England. They were the first company that actually manufactured them, from the gentleman who invented them, which was, I think, a bit of an eccentric, but a very clever man, and quite interesting. It's got on there your patent numbers, and the trademark of a lava lamp. That's what he called them, a lava lamp. They're now made by a company called Mathmos, who took over the patent rights, and they're also made for the American market by a company which unfortunately has slipped my mind, but there is an American company making these. I've got an example upstairs, which one of these days I'll get them out and we'll have a little look. But beware. There's the actual holder. As you can see, they're a bit different now. They're a plastic holder. It's a metal innards, but the outer's plastic. There's the lamp, and that'll be the same type of lamp what the other one has. You've probably a reading on there. I wish I could see. I'm hoping to have an operation. I don't know when. I don't want to end up with a white stick. But these cataracts take a long time, and they say, oh, it's got to be ready or something. It's either that or the NHS has run out of money. Anyhow, we'll see what we can see. I'll put that back in. I would think this is similar vintage, similar year, 60s. It's a different cord in as much as it's a black cord as opposed to a white cord. Your switch is slightly different. It's got a name on there. There's the name there. It's upside down again. I seem to be doing a lot of that upside down. Sorry about that. That name was about, once again, in the 60s, and is quite old. Along the side there you've got all your different countries that it's been passed for. A lot of the electrical stuff in those days had that. Obviously these were made in England. The whole units were made in England. But now you can buy these quite cheaply, foreign made in China mainly. Presumably the patent has run out and they can now make them. But I still like the old one. So, you know, any ideas, any comments, please make. I'm making a challenge here that this one is, in my opinion, the first model made, and probably the first type of that model made. And I think that goes down to that size cap. which is sealed. Anyhow, once again, many thanks for watching. I hope my friend who had passed a comment about this gets this. I will put a note in saying that I'll look up a video. For me, it's easier to me to talk and rabbit on, if you like, than actually typing, because I said before, I do find it a bit difficult now. Once I've had the operation for the cataracts, whenever that is, hopefully I may be able to get back to normal typing. Well, it's never normal, I use one finger. So once again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks again, thank you.